This is a video review of Jet Saber, Jumbo Saber, and Shuttle Saber, who formed together to make Sky Saber, and they are from the brave fighter of legend, Da-Garn! And if I sound like a raving lunatic madman who didn't understand anything I said, that's okay, I think. These guys come from an obscure anime, an obscure 90s anime called The Brave Fighter of Legend, Da-Garn. In the early 90s, Transformers were not popular in Japan. Instead, the Japanese had Brave, which was the card's replacement for Transformers. And these come from one of the earliest Brave series. I completely understand if none of you have heard about these guys, but I expect most of you probably have heard about Gal-Gar, which is the most famous of the, at least in the US, most famous of the Brave series, and also the last. I do actually have Gal-Gar and another figure from Gal-Gar. I'll re-review them sometime because my original reviews of them are really old and really awful. But anyway, moving on to the figures themselves, I'll be putting Jumbo Saber and Shuttle Saber off to the side right now because I'm going to look at Jet Saber first. Jet Saber is my least favorite of them all because he just doesn't look very good. You see the shoulders on him here, the fuselage is not very well formed, you see gaps all over it. The bottom is, oh my god, he's actually a robot! Yeah, he does not hide what he is at all. He's just a robot with airplane junk on the back. And so I'm just not a big fan of him. He does have some nice stuff, like his wings can spread out. Like he's a pretty good, he's an okay approximation of an F-14 Tomcat, but he's just not very good. To transform him, you'll fold the wings forward like this. You'll put up the landing gear. You will fold this back, and you will pop it off of his legs. And I wouldn't have him transform any other way because, like, this part's for me. I'm glad he has it because it makes Sky Saber awesome, but it does mean that Jet Saber by himself kind of sucks. This will become a shield. Then you fold the legs in like this to form the waist, and on mine I cannot get the waist to really come together in any decent way. Mine is also a Sonokong release, which there's no way around that because it's either impossible to find the Takara releases of Sky Saber or a lot of the Braves figures. It's either impossible to find the Takara releases or they're ludicrously expensive. And then you'll fold the nose back and the nose just kind of hangs out here. It doesn't sit flush or peg into anything. It's just fiddly. And if you do try and fold it flat, it will pop off. You can just pop it off if you want. I don't recommend it because you might wear out the clip, but it's not going to break at least, which is nice. And anyway, this is Jet Saber in robot mode. He looks okay. He's my least favorite of the bunch. The jet mode's kind of bad. Transformation is very boring, and the robot mode is just okay. You can put this onto the holes in his arms to give him a shield. And now's about the time I need to talk about the problem with weapons. Now this problem is just with mine, but you might expect to see this problem in the future. The way these weapons were packed, it was very easy for them to just be bent for years in the box. I got mine MISB, and they came out bent like this. They're supposed to be straight. There's really nothing I can do to fix this. Anyway, put the other weapons back. You can give him a sword, and he's okay by himself. I just would never want him by himself, which is a shame because the other two are actually pretty decent. They're G1-y figures, but they're decent G1-y figures. This one's just kind of the worst of the bunch. Put him off to the side, and now we'll look at Jumbo Saber, who I actually really like because he is a really good jumbo jet. I mean, he's not perfect because you can see some robot stuff on the bottom, basically just this, but he is a good jumbo jet. Also a flaw here, but he just looks really nice. One thing though is I had to take out the front landing gear because for whatever reason, I don't know if this is because this is a Sonokong figure or if just Sky Saber overall is like this, but the landing gear here prevented him from becoming Sky Saber properly. Like it kept some stuff from tabbing in properly, which kind of sucked. I had to remove it, so now he just sits like that, when normally he would sit like this. Now, to transform this guy is actually very interesting, because you have to slide forward the wings, then put them out to the side, and then the jet engines will come together to form the arms. Then you will split the cockpit, pull out the head, and I like that head. It's also got great light piping. Then you'll come down here, you'll pull down on the fuselage, split the legs, and then you'll take this, fold it around, turn these around. You want to make sure that the tail fin faces back. Turn these around, and then you will bring these up and peg them together like this. They are a little bit fragile though, so don't just crunch them together. Take some care when you do it, because mine have not broken yet, but I kind of feel like they will break. And then you'll fold these back. And this is Jumbo Saber in robot mode, and he is actually laughably smaller than Jet Saber. Even though he was already smaller in Jet mode than Jet Saber was, it's just laughable how small he is. But overall, I do like him. I like the way he looks. He has a great looking head. His chest is a little bit big, but it's not bad. I like the way his feet are shaped, and I don't know, he's just a cool little G1-y-like robot. He gets this weapon here, a crossbow. And overall, I just really like him. He's a good figure. Put him off to the side, and now we'll look at Shuttle Saber. Shuttle Saber is a great looking space shuttle. It's big, it's beefy, it has some gaps in it, but for the most part, it just looks good. Mine does have a problem where it doesn't quite come together in the middle exactly right. I don't know what the problem is. Again, maybe Sono Kong, but not much I can do about it, and it's still a good figure. To transform it, we will put up the landing gear. We will pull out the nose, split the nose, bring it out to the side, rotate it up, and peg it into the side of the shuttle. Like this. Bring down the toes. Split, or bring down the legs like this. Then this is where it starts getting really interesting. You'll take the wings, fold them back like this, fold these out, fold in this thruster, bring the arms out to the side like this, fold out his hands, and then you will bring up his head from the side in here. And this is Shuttle Saber. Split the legs, and he just looks cool. He has a great alt mode, a great transformation, and a really good looking robot mode. I don't know if he's a favorite of the bunch because Jumbo Saber just has a lot of charm to him that I really like, but he is at least Jumbo Saber's equal. He is a great figure. I love him. Put his little bent lance into his arm, and here we have the bunch all transformed together. I'm gonna put them all in a row, see what they look like as a group. Because yeah, they are a very good looking group together. And I like how they, except for, I mean, even Jet Saber looked pretty good, but just as vehicles, they look like pretty good toy vehicles. But now as robots, they have all these extra details that just pop alive so that they look like they transform more than they did. It's a very neat effect. It's very effective. And now I'm kind of bored. Let's do the awesome thing and combine them. So to do this, I'm going to, well, let's take out the weapons and the accessories, and put him off to the side. Do the same thing with Jumbo Saber. Pull this off, put it off to the side. I'm just getting all the tiny little stuff done. Pull this off, put it off to the side. And now let's begin with Shuttle Saber. We'll fold up the hands, fold up the arms, fold up the head, fold up the arms. We're basically kind of going back to shuttle mode. Fold these up, fold these back, collapse, plug the legs together, collapse them down. And here's where it gets kind of weird. You have to rotate them around like this, and then down like this, and then back down into the sides. And the reason why is because we're trying to expose these things, which are normally hidden. Up, around, down, around, and plug back in. Then fold these up for the knee pads. Then you split them in half, and here are the legs. We'll put them back here for now. Next, we need to deal with Jumbo Saber. And for this, we want this piece right here, and this piece right here. So to do this, we are going to straighten out the arms. We don't want to return them to the vehicle mode position, just leave them straight like this. Then we are going to bring them around like this, fold down the head, slide this down, and then bend it up so that there is a clip right here that will fit under the slider here. Put it up into there like this. Make sure these are folded down. And then you will split the legs out like this. A very G1 Scramble City combiner style leg transformation there. And then we'll take this and we'll plug it in like this. And this will form his crotch. If I can get it lined up. Then we'll take this, plug it into his chest, and this will be the chest plate. Like this. And now we can combine this with Shuttle Saber. What happens is that this little peg goes into here, and that keeps it from twisting in a weird direction, and then these will clip around the place where the peg hole was. So put these in here like this. And now we've got most of Sky Saber put together, and you can see he's going to be a big guy and a cool guy too. Now what we have left is Jet Saber. And this is the Jet Saber as just a normal toy. It kind of sucks, but he has actually a very neat transformation. So to do this, we will pop the legs down like this. We'll bring the fists down like this in the legs. We'll bring the robot arms out like this and keep them straight for the moment. We will eventually be curling them in like this, but do that after you combine it with the rest of the body, because otherwise they will sometimes get stuck under bits. We'll bring the nose up like this. We'll split the legs out like this, rotate them forward, and then we're just going to take this right here, and we're going to start combining this with Sky Saber. So there are tabs here and here, which will plug into the top and bottom of this portion here around Jumbo Saber's head. So we'll go in like this, and tab, and it's a very tight tab. I had to actually shave away some of the plastic on the tab so I could get it out without feeling like I'm going to break it. And then there's a tab right here on the nose, and we're going to take the entire, if it doesn't come off, put it back in. I may have shaved off a little bit too much plastic, but put it back in like that. Alright, it's good. And then we're going to take the entire wing section here with the nose, and we're going to pop it back like this, and then the nose will plug into the back like that. And that will reveal the head up here, but we're not going to deal with that just yet. We want to do some other things. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the Jumbo Saber arms end up in the armpits like that. You want to bring the normal arms down and fold these back. We didn't do them earlier because otherwise it would have bumped into those. You want to fold these up. And then we'll fold these arms down, and if you had done this earlier, they would have ended up above these right here, which would have prevented it from coming together quite right. Then do it to the other side, and then we have a little bit of cleanup to do. We need to put this into the back here, and then we'll start putting together his weapons. We'll take the crossbow and the sword, plug them together like this, plug them into his hand like this, and then, yeah, sometimes that will happen. For the most part, this guy stays together pretty well, but if you're trying to put him together on camera under hot lights and not able to reach and try and make sure he's on screen at the same time, it's a little bit less convenient than it normally is. Normally, it is a fairly smooth combination. Then you'll take this and plug it into the bottom of his hand to give him a lance-like weapon. And finally, to top it off, we get the awesome head. And this is Sky Saber. Sky Saber is an awesome combination of some really cool early 90s transforming robots, and he is just so cool. I mean, except that he can't move his arms very far forward because of the Jumbo Saber wings. He does have shoulder articulation forward and back, in and out, elbow articulation. The legs cannot go forward and back, but they can go in and out, which give him a much more natural stance, and they can rotate like this, which also helps quite a bit. And he's just awesome. He's got great articulation for the time. He's got great proportions, great design. He's just amazing. If I have any problem with him, it's that he's not quite as animalistic as he could be. Oh yes, we're going there. Hawk Saber and Pegasus Saber. Oh yeah! So yeah, if you can find this guy for a decent price, and I have seen him quite a few times on eBay recently, it's why I got him, I definitely recommend getting him. Get him while you can, because once this guy's gone, I cannot imagine Sonic Kong or Takara re-releasing him again. He's just such a great figure. Highly recommend it. Do get him. Anyway, I review Transformers, Power Rangers, Digimon, Macross figures, Brave toys, and lots of other stuff like that. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe. I have links down below. I have a Facebook link, some playlists. Click those if they're interesting, and thank you for watching.